Hey guys, it's you watch the show Suits? You know how the plot is basically the same and then it ends the same way every time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Cowboys from 1996 until 2024. What are we doing?
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I never listen, I'm gonna listen. I wanna listen to the drums.
Words of wisdom from Akash Singh yesterday
Indeed.
during our YouTube stream of Cowboys Packers, which did not go so well for those wishing the Dallas Cowboys would win or compete.
Or show up.
Yeah, or just give us.
Daily podcast for every NHL team.
Is that you?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you listening to NHL podcasts?
Again? Is that how you've already moved on?
Yeah, no, I'm on to the
Yeah,
Stanley Cup. Yeah. No, I'm in pain.
It's Monday, the day after the Cowboys lose
My heart hurts.
in the playoffs. An important date, Monday, January 15th, 2024. Some of the, what would you call them, shackles, restrictions, weights have been lifted off of your friends here.
I thought you were going to say Martin Luther King Day.
I'm focusing on us right now.
Okay.
Like, we're allowed to do some things that we weren't doing before, and now, but there's still some little road bumps for the next couple of weeks, but then perhaps we'll be on the open highway.
But also, happy birthday to Martin Luther King, the King Jr.
Yes, that's why we chose this day
Jeez.
to have certain restrictions lifted. It wasn't because our official last day with our previous employer was July 14th. It has nothing to do with the fact that today is then 6 months later. It's all because of Martin Luther King Jr., the King.
Guy loved puss.
Hey, just let him have his day. All right.
What's wrong with that on your day?
Nothing.
This, think about it. It's his birthday.
It's his birthday.
There's very good possibility that
On most of his birthdays, he was enjoying some,
there was something going on there.
yeah, some quality
Maybe more than one.
companionship. Yeah. That is like, do you remember the first time you ever heard about that?
About what?
That like the CIA or the FBI or whatever was spying on MLK, and that like their whole thing was, this guy loves the ladies. It's like, oh,
This guy.
that's what you have on him?
Yeah.
He cheats on his wife? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me there's more.
Tell me that you have something else. Anyway, we did learn yesterday that doing streams are fun.
It can be.
I know you might have been going through, really loving the people who have put together Jake memes.
Yeah.
We're all Jake.
Yeah.
The montage of photos.
Yeah.
You've got your head in your hand. You've got your headphones being thrown to the floor. You weren't really you weren't professional broadcaster. You were a fan. You were more fan.
It's playoffs, baby.
That's my favorite part. That's genuine Jake. That's not an act. That he's not playing anything up. That's Jake in his purest form.
And Blake knows that because Blake's watched a number of games with me, both live and on television, where there was no stream. Nothing of the sort. And he knows.
And in fact, it was just a regular season basketball game. One of 82.
Fair.
So as you move around, we're going to hear.
Oh, is that what it is? What
I
a
think.
beating.
Can you not hear that, Blake? Because we're having some weird technical difficulties here today.
I could there, but
you could?
Not before the show.
It's unplugged. It's not me.
Well, Jake just now he threw that cord like he threw his headset last night. We got a lot of problems here in the den. It's a very, very cold day. What are we looking at right now?
I'm hearing something now.
I'm not. Are we looking at like 15-ish
Yeah.
current temp?
Yeah.
Not a lot of precip, but there was a dusting of precip and probably just enough to make the roads a little bit dangerous. You drove over here, though.
I did.
Because you only live 10 minutes away.
And I don't think this is letting up for the next 24 hours. Like they're saying tonight's going to be really bad too.
Just the incredible cold, or is there going to be something dropped on
I think
upon
we
us?
might have a little bit more precip tonight, Blake. What do you see about that?
I thought it was over, which...
Okay, yeah, you're right. It's over on precip.
Okay.
My wife...
But tonight it will get down to 15.
Okay. Well, we're going to do a fire. Is that going to help you?
We did a fire.
Yeah.
We got a fire going right now.
Look at him scoreboarding us all.
Yeah, last night sucked. Yesterday sucked.
How was the
horrible.
roads, though?
Not too bad.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Blake is in Wiley. We are not.
Yeah.
And it's I took
we're having
Brooks
technical-
outside this morning, and it's like real snow. Like it's not this ice sleet mix. I mean, it's pure
It's fluffy.
snow.
Could
Yeah.
you make a snowman?
We were throwing some snowballs, but I don't know if there's enough to make a snowman.
Okay, it looks a little powdery. I didn't know that it would stick, but again, I don't have... Yes, back in the day, I would have been outside in that, right there in it, with the girls, making a snowman. Because you got to strike while the iron's cold when it's like this.
For sure.
Because you
won't get many.
Yeah, you might not get another snow at all. You might get a bunch. You might be snowed in. How's the grid, or will we address that in today's news?
We will address that and irk it, but so far they are calling for conservation, but it does not look like we are going to be powerless thus far.
Would like to thank everybody for doing the stream, all those who came out here, and I just
Sure.
lost the list of people who were here, but they were all great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
The company was good.
Yeah, just all
Agreed.
the people are
Agreed.
great. Just a lot of different ideas. I'm very excited to think about the future with our situation. Let's just separate ourselves from the Cowboys if we can. But I feel like we hit upon something that's a lot of fun. I think
We're
we
in
can
a
do
better
that.
place than the Dallas Cowboys right now.
We at least have hope. They have. I don't know what we're going to do, because it seemed like we had everything perfect, and now we clearly don't. But we like nothing about us has seemed like it's been perfect. So now we have only room to improve. Like, we're not close to being an MVP, but we have visions of possibly being that someday. But I just thought, do we do a stream with like a regular stream team every week? Because I kind of think if we did, we might just have to lock up Caitlin to a long-term deal.
Yeah, Caitlin's in the mix for sure.
But just the
What a
whole
sweetheart.
thing. The whole thing, I kind of like viewing.
Big fan of hers.
I kind of like if we have a studio of our own, which is it's on our wish list. It's on our New Year's resolutions.
I suppose.
But I think you have said this in the past. I think the Cowboy game stream is great here.
I think this is the home for it.
It's a good feel.
I agree. And the reason I like having Caitlin here is because I think she's the only other person who is as affected as I am,
Yeah.
which is highly
Yeah.
affected. Yeah, no, it's very fun. I love that everyone gets to watch my misery and thinks that's super funny.
Wait, did you Uber home?
No, I ended up not. I only had like 2 beers and 1 drink over 4.5 hours. So no,
All right.
it was all good.
You didn't look like you were in shape to drive, but maybe it was just your the inner demeanor? Kind of just a sad, slow drive home.
Take the side roads.
Drive home in silence.
Oh, no. There's no doubt. Silence. Yeah.
You didn't get Jameson to send you a sad piano bed?
I probably should have. It sucked, man. It sucked. I literally walked right to my bed and just put the covers over myself. And then got up and wrote a column this morning.
Okay, what time did you get up?
4:30.
So you didn't go home and watch any football?
Watch it this morning.
Yeah.
I didn't want to watch any more football.
Yeah.
I just was,
Like when we were wrapping up, when everybody else had left and it was just you and me and Blake in the kitchen, and I thought you were waiting for an Uber at that time because you were kind of just standing there, solemn, just looking at your shoes.
Yep.
Just our talk then, it was just stunned disbelief. Just of all the, it's the analogy I suppose with the Mavs last year when they made the Kyrie trade at the deadline. There were a lot of different possibilities that we thought could, come out of that one little moment. I don't think we even had in the mix at all missing the playoffs totally.
I missed the play-in.
Missed the play-in, yeah. Missed every, it was just either, who knows, but, I mean, they're a playoff team at least, and then they don't even make it at all. That was, at least you kind of got to see that play out over a period of time when it became a little more obvious, so maybe the feeling wasn't like this because it just slapped you in the face when you're in the second quarter and you're saying, wait, of all of there were many scenarios you had come up with. A Green Bay blowout was not one of them.
No, it was far beyond the bell curve. What, like a 2 to 3% chance? If you had put, all the possible outcomes in a bucket, I believe Green Bay being up at 1.27-0 would have been a 2 to 3% chance.
Completely illogical. It just didn't. Nothing really added up. Even when and a lot of people were saying, "Hey, look at Jordan Love. His last 6 to 8 games have been very similar to Dak's stats." But I don't know. I guess I didn't see a lot of Jordan Love in the second half of the season, but I did in the first half, as I'm watching my fantasy team, Blake. So I'm trying to kind of follow and see how he's looking, and nothing about him. I don't know. And man, in that game, he seemed like the veteran who was on a $40 million a year contract and just making, nice plays and good decisions. And
yep.
So Dak is looking like the guy in a first year of a starting job, where it's a 3rd and 5 and you're in field goal range, and he takes a sack. Kind of like we said, the one thing that couldn't happen yesterday did. That's the one thing that can't happen on those plays. And sometimes you would say, but look how Steele got run over, or look how so-and-so did. There was no getting out of that sack. Well, I'm talking about Dak rolling right out of the pocket, pump faking, looking downfield, seeing the guy in front of him, and then taking the sack.
Yep.
That's kind of inexcusable.
Well, especially because when we saw the alternate angle of behind the play, all of his receivers were to the left. There was nothing he could have done there.
Yeah, and then they took a delay of game, which was obviously intentional, and punted the ball away. That's just it's inexcusable. But I guess here's the main thing. I don't think anything went well yesterday, from offense, defense, coaching. How many times did they throw the ball on first down? It's incomplete. Now we're going to run it on second down. Now we're going to set ourselves up for 3rd and 6.
If you're lucky, 3rd and 6,
yeah, if you're lucky, third and 8. And they've done this so many times over the last handful of years where they just put Dak in that situation, and not to alibi for him at all, but it just the play calling, the sequencing of the play calling, I thought was gross. I thought the composition of their defense got exposed, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago. They're small. They're small. So if a team actually decides and has a good scheme to just run the piss out of the ball, they can.
But this didn't feel like Buffalo, where Buffalo, only threw 10 passes, and they just really just dominated them down the field. They just married their run and their play action so well that I don't think the Cowboys really ever knew what was coming.
I mean, I would agree with you, but they also, on that opening drive, whatever it was, like an 8-minute drive to open the game, they were running the ball pretty effectively and at will. And there was not a whole lot Dallas's defense could do about it.
No, and I mean, that's what you want, right? It is run and play action to marry off of each other. But there was never a 3rd and long where, okay, here's where the Cowboys pin their ears back.
No.
Or here we got them in 2nd and long. They were just always ahead of the chains.
Yeah, and I think they were ahead of the chains because Dallas can be run on.
Yeah.
What do you think is the mental aspect when Green Bay in Dallas wins the toss and elects to receive, and then has that drive where they march right down the field?
Yeah, it's disrespect. That's for sure.
Because the fact that they elect to receive.
Yeah.
And I know that's a thing the Cowboys are sporadic on. They might do that occasionally too, and they'll do that to try to set the tone and kind of show, look, you're going to have to stop us today. But then when they do that to your team at home, it's like, whoa, wait, that can't happen. That's not how this works.
Yeah, you have the vaunted defense, and this team's like, I'd like to take it to you right now and see what you could do about this.
Yeah, in theory, you have the – in fact, for a while we were saying this team that's their identity, is their defense, and they're going to be as good as their defense, and I guess they were.
McCarthy said that.
Yeah.
Very early in the year.
He actually morphed into that.
Yeah.
And then LaFleur's like, let's see it.
But then their offense, were world beaters as well. They were great this year. Got rid of that Kellen Moore. We know how he always folds in the playoffs. And then your offense is down 27-0.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, all pros, Pro Bowlers. And that's the thing that overall, I guess, I don't know.
Well, I think they were deserving of the All-Pros. I mean,
yeah, but
they had wonderful years.
Don't you just have this feeling about the Cowboys that they sit around basking in the glory of all their recent accolades? They're concerned with which media members are not giving the proper amount of respect to which teammates. They're wanting to make sure that you know that I'm the best in the game. That's the way I view it now, and that's
get paid.
They want you to know we're about to get paid. I'm going to get paid. He got paid. He's going to get paid again. Can't wait to get paid. Because we've done everything that we need to do. Sure, they want to win in the playoffs, but is that their main focus? They're building their brand. Everybody's got their brand. Everybody's got their social following. Everybody's, making sure that you shout out all those haters all the time. Make sure you're very well aware of what Screamin' A. Smith is saying every day. Make sure whoever they all live on, all these talking head shows live on Dallas Cowboy talk.
Oh,
or
yeah,
I'm going to rank Dak 14th of all quarterbacks, and then that's one thing that you want to get the fan base riled up. Does the team need to be paying attention to that all the time? And that's what this team does. They do, and then they've answered their critics. They've answered them throughout the season. See, CeeDee Lamb, All-Pro wide receiver.
Yeah, and there's something poetic about the fact that these 3 years have ended at the hands of the 49ers and the Packers. Because those just feel like very, as far as the NFC goes, just the come-to-work blue-collar-y teams that just show up and punch you in the mouth.
Even though the 49ers have a lot of big-name, high-priced talent.
Sure, but I mean, think about it. Like, one of the first things people say about, like, Deebo Samuel is that guy will block. And I'm not saying CD doesn't, but I'm just saying, like, they're known as, like, a physical, we-just-come-to-work type team. The Packers are the effing Packers, So the fact that those are the two teams that they've lost to over the past few years and really been bullied in all 3 games, feels like it says a lot.
So how do you convince someone, like what? Blake was trying to get you to record a message for your future self during the game.
Yeah, I was having no part of that.
And you wouldn't do that, and you should have.
Sorry.
But next year, what would they have to be to make you say, because this was the year. It was all different.
Right.
They had got rid of Zeke. They were focused. They had got rid of a lot of excuses. This is a totally they're all healthy.
Tyron was healthy.
Pretty healthy all year long, and,
Yeah.
and certainly healthy heading into the playoffs. And then things fall right for you. Right? 5 or 6 weeks ago, it was, Philly will be the 1 seed, and at the worst, the 2 seed. And well, then Philly goes in a tailspin. You win a couple games you didn't think you might have won. All of a sudden, you have the number 2 seed. Now, you're 8-0 at home. You were 8-0 last year. This is 16 wins in a row at home. Perfectly set up.
Yeah.
You won't have to face San Francisco until the NFC Championship game. And is that where this team's head kind of was? As things turned, as they proved the media wrong and the haters and all that loud noise that's out there that we pay attention to all the time. And it's so loud, but we've proved them wrong because now we don't have to lose until we go to San Francisco. Like, is that kind of already in their head? We're at home. I mean, we win at home.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, again, as I was standing in your kitchen last night, crestfallen, the thing that just stuck out to me was, even though he had a great year, their quarterback is just kind of a guy. Like, he's pretty good, but he's not great, and he improved this year, but is he ever going to be like a guy that you're like, I definitely think we have the best quarterback in this game, and he's going to take this over?
I would have thought that yesterday.
I don't know, though. I mean, even, I wrote the column that I was stunned that he improved as much as he did this year in his age 30 season, year 8. But, I mean, are you really ever going to feel like this is the guy that's not going to throw pick sixes, that's not going to turn the ball over, that can make a play outside of the structure of the offense? He's really good, but I need to check myself and come back to the idea of, is he one of the 7 or 8 best quarterbacks in the league? Numbers are great, but, I mean, I've never seen, like, Patrick Mahomes do what he did yesterday.
And not under tremendous duress. It wasn't like he was...
No, I mean, the pressures were 10-16, 16 for Green Bay, 10 for Dallas, but that's a normal amount, and it was on 60 dropbacks. So it's, the rate was probably even lower for Dak than it was for Jordan Love. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's almost like everything has to be perfect for him to succeed. And I hate to say that because I love the guy and I think he's really good. But I don't think he's going out there and, like, dueling you back into a game if you end up down, right? Like we talked about last week with the Chiefs. Like, how many times have you seen the Chiefs be down and you're like, Mahomes is probably going to pull them back into this?
You're more surprised if they don't.
I'm never confident that Prescott's going to do that.
What was it last year in the Super Bowl? They were down at half, and Mahomes' ankle was hurt again, and you thought, okay, yeah, this is it. And then, sure enough.
And I hate to compare him, to hold him up against maybe the greatest quarterback of all time, but I don't know. I mean, I think he's kind of just what he is. Which might, if everything breaks right, be enough, but if a couple things get haywire, you're up the creek.
But the game last night, like Jared Goff wasn't anything spectacular, but they're able to win a playoff game. I don't know. He doesn't have to be Superman.
No.
The quarterback doesn't have to be Superman for a team to win a playoff game.
No.
It's more than just him.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't have a hand in things going poorly. You can't be throwing pick sixes. I mean, Jared Goff didn't throw any interceptions. He took care of the ball. Dak threw 2. One of them went 60-plus yards the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at his numbers in the end. Like if you're looking at this 20 years from now and trying to figure out what happened, you might say, Dak, I don't know, 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Same thing with CD stats.
I don't know if it was Dak. Yeah, CD ended up with over 100 yards.
Almost all in garbage time.
But when they were down 27-0, Dak had 61 yards passing, 2 interceptions. 1 was a pick six. 1 was in the red zone, or on the Green Bay red zone, so when they got the pick, they were able to score pretty quickly after that. Ends up with 87 yards after the first half. Talked about taking the sacks, couple of them at least, on third down that he should not have taken. 1 was pretty egregious.
Oh.
Locking in on CD Lamb, there probably is a difference between making sure you utilize your biggest offensive weapon and forcing the ball to him.
Yeah.
Which he certainly did. That 1 interception for sure. And you're sitting here looking at the necessity of a contract extension because of his brilliant agent and your seeming mishandling of the contractual situation with him, before he was up for a new contract.
Yeah, and I know Blake likes to bring this up quite a bit, but our friend Joel Corey from CBS said it to us a year ago that it doesn't really matter what Dak does. Like, he has them completely over a barrel.
And it's the
way
worst.
Their cap is structured and the way that his contract is structured, there's just nothing they can do.
And sometimes
you can't cut him and you can't trade him.
Well, you always say you can't trade somebody. Here in the NFL, it seems like guys can be traded, and I guess if
they tend to not be traded with a number like that, though.
If Russell Wilson can be cut, I mean, somehow Aaron Rodgers was moved.
Yeah.
And he was on the books for like a $50 million cap hit.
And I don't, how's that worked out?
For Green Bay?
For
they moved Aaron Rodgers and worked out great.
Well, I'm saying like if you're
But again, they planned
ahead they had a first round pick on the bench for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like if you're a team that wants to move your quarterback and start over, that is highly uncertain.
Well, that's the problem.
Same thing with the coach.
That's the problem you're in right now. Well, the coach less so. But the problem you're in with the quarterback, there's lots of coaches I can go get one that can lead this team. Would you agree with that?
Certainly an easier role to fill than franchise quarterback.
Yes.
For sure.
But then what do you do when your franchise quarterback is the tweener that you think everything has to be perfect around him? Do you scrap him and start over? Because if you do, yes, that might – if things aren't perfect around him enough to advance, how are things going to be perfect around question mark?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't go out and get Cousins or somebody like that at the end of their career. You might as well just Dak's going to be the quarterback.
Yeah. And he's going to be a quarterback on a new contract. So I guess the conversation becomes, I mean, I don't know. I feel like multiple times over the past couple of weeks you've been like, what happens if they get run in the first round? Like, that's what it would take to get fired. Literally the only thing that we all thought it would take for him to get fired happened.
Right. And now we're like, oh, my gosh.
There's no way.
Are they actually going to do it?
Yeah. It is the only thing. There was no other scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It was a blow. It wasn't a hard-fought, good, last second something.
It was getting embarrassed.
And I think down 27-0 in the second quarter, you're embarrassed.
I would agree.
God, I want to know what's going through Jerry's head today.
Do you want to listen to some of it?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll play you a little bit. Or can I? I don't know what our scene is here.
Are you plugged in?
No, I'm not. Because every time I plug... we'll save it. We'll do it after the break.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. But, I mean, obviously he's doing the, I'm not going to address this right now. But, I mean, last week, when asked about it, he said, we'll take it game by game. That wasn't exactly like the vote of confidence that I thought McCarthy was going to get.
Well, then the question would be, too, all right, let's say he did get rid of McCarthy. We've always thought throughout the year it was, well, you would just slide Dan Quinn over.
Dan Quinn, who just got 48 hung on him. That's the funniest part about yesterday, is that all the narratives crashed together at once.
And then, obviously there is the looming specter of the greatest NFL coach of all time.
Of course. Nice backdrop.
That person isn't usually free. And somehow these 2 points in time have actually connected. Now, why is he going to choose here? Number one, he would choose here because he's chasing Shula's record.
Pretty good chance.
And he can get that here.
Yeah.
Almost without a doubt. But to get that here, he's going to have to step back from his usual posture because this is Jerry Jones and the Jerry Jones Show. And Jerry Jones, although feeling desperate and in a weird, very sad situation for himself where he thought he would be, he's not feeling the same way he was when it was the third consecutive 5-11 season where he's like, I have to kind of let someone else do some stuff because,
yeah,
I have to kind of swallow some. Like he's kind of feeling like, look, my part of this is what's building these 12-5s. My part, I'm in charge. I'm the GM, which certainly is just a title for Jerry. But Will McClay, they just announced this week he's going to be back. That's kind of the real GM.
Yeah.
But it's all the parts together are the real GM. And Jerry is, some big-time GM moves, but he'll always be called the GM. And I'm sure they're compensating Will McClay just like he's an actual GM.
Or more.
And Will McClay doesn't have to move, and his kids are in school here, and it's a great scene for Will McClay, and he's proven to be great. The whole scouting department, that's proven to be awesome. This is a very talented football team, so you got to know he's thinking, why would I change this part of the scene? I just need to change this little part here. The guy who's the coach.
Yeah, but...
And would Belichick accept that little role?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I never thought Parcells would come here either, and you brought that up last week of maybe Belichick is like, I don't want to just walk too much in the Parcells' footsteps, but it almost seems like in your 60s or 70s going to coach the Cowboys is like moving to Florida. It's just like, all right, well, it's going to be nice. It's not really much substance here, but I'm kind of retiring. It'll be football sunny.
Yeah.
I can just live out my days taking this guy's money and sort of just
can win.
Walking about.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. You could see why Jerry would want it because Think of the marketing possibilities
Oh, my
around
God.
breaking Shula's record at Jerry World. He'd probably tell him to tank a game to make sure he could win it at home next week.
That's the Netflix doc episode 2.
Season 2, actually.
Yeah, season
Season
1,
2.
Jimmy, Ring of
Yeah.
Honor. Season 2, Belichick, Shula.
Yeah, I don't know because it doesn't seem like, and I thought this whenever they moved on from Jason Garrett, it doesn't seem like Jerry's in the mood for like a young hotshot.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever people were talking about like Lincoln Riley or, like Jerry would have never hired Mike McDaniel, for example. Like the point on the quote-unquote win curve where the Cowboys are with their roster and where Jerry is with, frankly, his life, I just don't think that they're going to go after somebody who's unproven. That's why McCarthy was almost like a perfect fit, even if he had his warts. It was that this guy's won before. He kind of knows how this goes. But once you've exercised that option, I don't know where you go from there. I mean, maybe Dan Quinn. Yes, he's been in a Super Bowl. McCarthy and Dan Quinn's coaching records are not that dissimilar. But outside of that, I mean, what else would you do? He's not hiring Sark, or whatever. If you look around the league with NFL coordinators that are available, I know that there's a handful of them that are going to get head coaching opportunities that are young, but I just don't feel like that's Jerry's wave at all.
Harbaugh?
Maybe, but why? I mean, I feel like he falls into the same thing as Belichick almost of why would you want this job? But that's not a horrible idea.
Yeah, Harbaugh probably falls into the I want to run things.
Yeah, like
and
Belichick.
Somebody's going to say, yeah. Like the Chargers or somebody are going to say.
Harbaugh's a very difficult person to work with. I don't know how much you've read about like his exit from the 49ers, but it was not pretty. Like everyone hated him.
He also seems kind of like a builder.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure he would like a franchise quarterback already in place, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but he definitely wants to build his way.
And again, this again, like you said, it was kind of made for McCarthy. McCarthy was used to having zero say as far as personnel, all that kind of stuff in Green Bay. So he wasn't used to the spectacle that is the Cowboys, but, he was used to being the coach.
Yeah.
And that's what he's had to be here.
I don't know. I mean, I think the odds are probably that they bring him back. And I'm not even sure that's the wrong decision, but
well, and they might end up bringing him back because, what else are we going to do?
Same thing with the quarterback.
That's your mindset with Dax. Well,
Yeah.
What else are we going to do?
Yeah.
And I think oftentimes that's not a good reason to do something. But I suppose you could also argue that making a change for change's sake is also not a good reason.
Sure. Yeah,
Has Garrett been snatched up by anyone?
No, Alabama has not hired. They went in a different direction. I just hope, and I know we're going to play a little bit of audio and stuff, but I want the two of you as my friends to know, and I feel like doing the stream helps this. Like, this shit hurts me. Like, I woke up in a bad mood. I drove home in a bad mood. I went to bed in a bad mood. The first thing I thought about when I got up today, like, I know we joke about it a lot, but I'm still, like, a huge Cowboys fan. And it, like, legitimately hurts me that this went the way that it did. I'm an old man at this point, I don't have a lot of things to be excited about.
Yeah.
And it really, really hurts me.
People were watching the stream and seeing you going through pain and talking about that you're just going to Uber, and we were discussing how you were going to get home. And Wire Will, you remember him of the
Of course.
the house fire.
Yes.
He texted me, at least Jake has a house to go home to.
Okay, thank you for the perspective, Wire Will. That's true.
It's perspective.
That's true. Yeah. Appreciate that.
My friend L4, I'll call him, said, think of it if the Cowboys would have had a sling it around offense.
Yep. Could have given it to Rathbun.
Our friend Scott Chandler, who used to play for the Buffalo Bills, said he's welcoming you to the Bills bandwagon if you
Mafia?
want. He said you're invited on the bandwagon.
Okay.
They're kind of like the Browns, except we have Josh Allen, he says.
That's one way to put it, I suppose.
Had a buddy named Matt who was going to come be in the gallery to watch the game. He says, I had something come up, can't be there next week for the stream. Because he said he'd be there next week.
Yeah.
Ted Emmerich as well texted later. He said, good to go for next week. So Ted will be over here.
Okay. Cool. Hey, I'm down if you want to hang out next Sunday.
Well, it might
watch
be
some
the
Red Zone or something.
Might be the Baker stream.
I'm down. I need to get out of the house. But yeah, I mean, I think you don't really have this.
Newberg had a funny text.
Okay, I'm sure it was awesome.
You were on it. It's just that he posted his tweet. He showed me his tweet. He says, so many things I'd like to say, but I'm going to head off the stick to baseball nation, and I won't. So he will not comment.
Okay.
Because he didn't want to hear from the stick to baseball nation.
Yeah.
And he showed me that this was liked by Sports Delcus.
Yep. I'm not surprised. But yeah, I mean, let's do something else. I don't know. We can play audio, whatever.
Wait,
but I just want
you
you
don't
to
want
know,
to talk Cowboys?
I just want you to know that I'm in a bad mood.
It was pretty evident last night. If you want to go to our YouTube page, you can also just go take a look at and just jump ahead to see.
It sucked. It sucked.
You don't have to
man.
jump too far ahead to see some real negativity, and we were trying to talk you out of that, but you were right.
You don't get many cracks at this. You know, you don't get many bites at the apple. And
Will you please record a message for your future self?
no,
Come on.
because by tomorrow I'm back in.
I should have told you. I should have said this last week because when I saw this news, I said this is never going to happen.
Okay.
But how about the fact that Cowboy fans can't do a whiteout?
No, you already know we're incapable of any form of unified fan behavior.
Because it's been so cool when I've been a part of that or seen them on TV. But I think I was at Miami, Oklahoma City when they did whiteouts. It's amazing to be a part of and look at.
Yeah. You don't see that often with NFL teams, though. You see it a lot with college teams and for sure with the NBA.
Is it just the amount of fans getting on?
I think probably
on board. Or?
Although, I mean, look, at Penn State, that's capacity-wise.
Yeah, that's true.
AT&T, and they pull it off fine. So I think it's a size combined with give an F. And are you worried that you have to look cool?
And that's a Dallas crowd
definitely
for
a
sure.
Dallas thing. Yeah.
It wasn't even close to a whiteout.
No. You would never have known that they were even attempting it.
In fact, I was listening to some Dak audio from last week where he's like, can't wait, it's going to be great, see that sea of white, blah, blah, blah. Like, Cowboys are like, let's do this cool marketing thing. And the fans are like, you know what, I got a blue jersey.
Yeah.
And that's the one I'm going to wear. Here's more Dak last week.
The players around me, the coaches, the system that we've created, the culture that this team has. It's not just about how I feel about myself, but it's about these other guys, the confidence that they give me, I should say. I don't know if I've had this much confidence or a greater feel than I have with this offense, with this team, with our approach and how we're going to go and take care of things.
Yeah, they're ready. They are ready to take care of business.
You're a big jerk.
Hey, Dak, What about let's talk Super Bowl? Did Dak say, you know what? That's way of getting ahead. Let's focus on this coming up game, how would Dak respond if you said, let's talk Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be the best, and I think in my position, it starts with winning the Super Bowl. So understanding that this opportunity is right here in front of us, it's about attacking that and every detail that I've got to do to make sure I get that. As far as wanting what somebody else has, I think everything's different. Every situation is different.
He says the right
not
words
looking at other
many
people,
times.
really comparing myself. As I've told y'all before, I've got the highest expectations and standards I put on myself.
Here comes the bingo.
I'm my biggest critic. So at the end of the day, my internal drive and want is sometimes probably crazy to a lot of other people, but I think that's what pushes me, what allows me to focus.
People are like, look at this guy's drive.
To create such great goals, to chase them, to get close to them, to beat them.
If I would go online, I would determine that you are not your biggest critic. I feel like
I could throw a rock right now. Yeah.
Oh, Dak.
You see me and a bear to fight, pour honey on me. So.
Oh, Dak. He's just so Dak.
And remember his suitcases.
Yeah, Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. I was looking for that audio. I couldn't find it. So, hashtag seize everything. What is that? Is that something that people are saying about this team?
Sort of like the never ever quit.
Is that their motto for this playoffs? It was? Okay. Because that was just tagged on a tweet that said, let's go at Dallas Cowboys. Hashtag seize everything.
Carpe Omnia, right? You'll see them wearing those shirts. Yeah, that may have been
a McCarthy thing.
Yeah, Carpe Omnia.
This was tweeted by Senator Ted Cruz.
God.
Before the game.
Watch my cursing.
But he did it for the Texans, too, so he's not the one with bad luck.
Did he really for the Texans?
He did something.
And the Longhorns.
Yeah, he'll do it. Yeah.
And Baylor and Houston.
Let's see, before we get to Jerry audio. Just trying to look for different notes. Obviously, the Dan Quinn thing is insane.
I think Dez lost like $1 million.
Oh, I think I saw him, yeah. Did he
Yeah.
put another $10,000 on the game?
Something.
He will tell you about that.
Yeah.
We had Cole Beasley attacking Brandon Cooks on Twitter.
Go on.
They just put a video out of the interception, the Jair Alexander interception. And somebody said about how Dak, that was a bad ball or whatever. And Cole Beasley quote tweeted it and said, that's a horse shit route.
Yeah.
Half of it is,
can you agree with both of those things?
Yes.
Yeah, both can be true for sure. Cooks did not
I said that
do a
last
good
night.
job of boxing out his defender.
Yeah.
It
was a bad day for all involved.
Here's a fun stat. Since the Texans' first season.
Shut up, Blake.
They have 5 playoff wins since 2002. That was their inaugural season. The Cowboys have 4. Aren't stats fun?
Did you look at Blake's email? It's insane.
Oh, let's take a look at Blake's email.
I incorporated some of that into my column this morning.
What was the other stat? The Packers haven't lost at AT&T yet?
Is that true?
And don't they have more playoff wins at AT&T than the Cowboys do?
Nick. Emailer Nick.
Yes. He
used to call himself. Yeah.
Times changed.
Says using the law of complementary probability, there's only a 2% chance that the Cowboys would not make the NFC Conference Finals over 30 seasons if the two teams were just randomly pulled out of a hat each season. The Cowboys are defying the odds of organizational incompetence going on 3 decades. And yeah, Blake then last night, late night
Blake
sent us a real nice breakdown of. It's not just that the Cowboys, if you would just pull two names out of a hat, there'd only be a 2% chance that if you did that, however many times, 30, so 60 times, that you would never get to the conference championship. Because the Browns also haven't been to the conference championship, but you think, okay, I mean, the Browns, they have the worst winning percentage in all of football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since they've come back to the game.
Yeah, the oddity here is that the Cowboys are actually a really good team.
Like, really, really good team.
Really good.
What is their winning percentage? So you did a lot of this, Blake. Like, they're the 6th best team since Dak has been in the league. And what's that, 8 years? So since 2021, they're the 4th best team.
And not even 4th. Like, they're tied. I went and looked that up, Blake. I don't know what service you used, but they're right there at like 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Like, because Buffalo had a game where a guy died.
Yeah. So they got
they have one less game. But, I mean, yeah, they are with Kansas City, Buffalo, and San Francisco in the top 4 by fractions of a percentage point in winning percentage in the regular season.
And since 2016, they're with Kansas City, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, New England, and New Orleans.
Yeah, the elites.
All those teams, elite quarterbacks. Since 2011, they're the 8th best. So they're consistently, and since 2006, Romo's first season,
I
they're
tried
6th.
I tried to go back to like when they've had a chance. I mean, you've had your franchise guy. Romo started in 2006, Dak started in 2016, and then a 5-year update after that. And it all kind of worked out nicely. But yeah, I mean, they're a top 8 team since 2006. And every other team in that top 8 has played for a Super Bowl.
And that's the thing. We're not even saying they haven't been to the Super Bowl, which we would be saying had they been to the conference championship a couple times. They can't even get to there, which is it's baffling.
Yeah, I can't recall the exact words I used this morning, but it was something like a singular effort and failure. Like, it's almost impressive.
So you say they're 6th, the 6th best record since Romo's first season, and every other team in there has been to a Super Bowl since then, right?
They've won a Super Bowl.
New England, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, New Orleans, all have won a Super Bowl.
Kansas City, Seattle.
Since 2006.
Buffalo is the only one that hasn't, and they've at least made a title, an AFC Championship game. So, yeah. I mean, their playoff record and track record is down with the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah, their playoff record since that same year, they're the 7th worst playoff team. Miami and Washington and Vegas are 0-for. Detroit is actually 1-3 in that time. Cleveland 1-2.
Last night.
Okay, Minnesota 3-7, and then you got Dallas at 4-9.
I mean, you got to get there to be able to have a bad record.
Romo's playoff record 2-4. Dak's 2-5.
Yeah. Last night or yesterday was a legacy altering day.
So their playoff success mirrors the list of the worst teams in the league, except for the fact that actually 5 of the 10 worst teams in the league have made a conference championship since the Cowboys have.
Yeah, they've at least had a year or 2 years where they're
so even the very, very worst, even your Jets,
Jags, Jets, Bucks, Rams, Panthers.
It's astonishing what they're doing. To be this good and consistent and just not be able to break through that echelon to get to the conference title. And then I mean, what made me start doing this was like what you were saying earlier. We were just standing around your kitchen just saying, like, this does not make sense at some point to just get lucky enough to make one. that I thought, is this anything that we've seen in other sports as well? And so that's what made me dive into, let me compare the top 10 winningest teams in the last 20 years in other sports and see, is this more common than we think? And it's not. What they're doing is astonishing.
So these are since they did last make a conference championship, which was the last time they won a Super Bowl too.
I think I messed up the wording. It's the last 20 years. So since 04.
Oh, 20 years.
94. Yeah, last 20 years.
Okay, so in the last 20 years, they have a top 10 winning percentage. And if you go in every other sport, like give me the basketball teams with the top 10 winning percentage, most of them have won a title. Like 7 of the 10 have won a title. 2 have been in the title game, and 1, of course, was in the conference finals. Same thing with baseball. Top 10 winning percentages. Every team, 8 of the 10 have won a title. 2 have been in the World Series.
Yeah, and the Rays and the Indians, and they were in 2 of them. They've both been to 2 World Series.
Top 10 winning percentages in the NHL in the last 20 years. 7 have won a title. 2 others have at least been in the finals. And then that last one, just like in the NBA, has been to the conference finals, just never in the Stanley Cup finals. And then if you go to the NFL, top 10 winning percentages in the past 20 years. The Cowboys are in there. They are the 8th best winning percentage in the last 10 years.
20.
20. Every one of the other teams has won a title. Won a title.
That's 3 games ahead.
So the top 10 winning percentages in the NFL, we got Patriots, Steelers in the last 20 years. Packers, Ravens, Colts, Seahawks, Saints, Cowboys, Eagles, and Chiefs. And they haven't even been to the... It makes no sense. Unless we do say... I mean, we're throwing out all of the objective facts you can. The subjectivity of the trickle-down attitude of the Cowboys, trickling down from the owner, the glitz and glamour that is the Cowboys, the most profitable franchise in the NFL, the most profitable franchise in sports, the most valuable franchise. Like, that is what the players are all about, too. They're all the most noteworthy players. Dak is brought up all the time. Micah is very, everybody's very camera-friendly. Everybody's on a lot of commercials. Everybody's getting paid. Everybody's, very well known. They're real famous. But in the end, there's just no substance behind it.
Yeah, and I've always sort of tried to resist that designation because it feels kind of, it's very qualitative and it's like narrative-y. But at some point, like, I give up. It keeps happening time and time again. All these teams feel the same. They have 7 All-Pros, and they get the piss kicked out of them by the youngest team in the league at home in the first round of the playoffs. I don't know what to say anymore. They may not actually just have the mental fortitude to compete in the playoffs. Maybe that all does come back to their ownership. I don't know, but I'm tired of it.
That's the only consistent thing here. Yeah. It's been through 2 different quarterbacks, multiple head coaches. There's been one consistent, and it's the front office.
Should have brought Zeke back to play center.
Which is crazy because they do so many things so well. They're the best drafting team in the NFL.
Zeke was there in Dak's suite last night. Did you guys see that?
No.
He can live that Dez dream. You're always welcome, and it's country club, baby.
Oh, he's a cowboy for life for sure. In fact, don't rule out Look at Zeke on the roster. So I wanted to play you. I saw this online. First of all, Jake has talked about. So you've talked about when you played high school football for a very bad team.
Yes, very bad.
At some point, most games were so out of hand that you just start playing a math game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a believer.
And okay, now we got to score in 4 plays.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have to hold them, do a 3 and out. Then we got to, you're playing
Maybe
the game
force
in
a
your head.
fumble, onside kick.
You're trying to figure
how many
this
timeouts
out.
do we have? Yeah.
You always do this if you're gambling.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure,
you're
yeah.
playing every scenario out until okay, I need a tie. I need overtime because then I can't. Yeah. So yesterday, we're still in the first half. I think Jake starts doing math.
Is that a good
so
sign?
17-7 at half.
Get the ball back after half. It's 17-14. You're
17-14,
right back in it.
You're right back in it.
Yeah.
No problem.
You got the 2-minute warning.
It's a timeout.
3 timeouts.
We're already doing this.
17-7.
Okay, so we're doing that in the first half.
Well, we had to.
So apparently Brad Sham is over there on the Cowboys radio network, and he's giving Jake.
Okay.
If you score here, and they don't score again, and you get the kickoff and score at the beginning of the second half, it's a 1-score game. So that makes this a big 2nd and 2. Prescott in the gun, fakes the inside handoff. Slant's picked off. At the 50, this might be a house call. To the 30, it's Darnell Savage. All the way in, 50-yard plus return. That does not help.
This first half is just incredible. Dak is just trying to get a little slant route to the left side.
Okay, I think
they've got a
that's
3-by-1.
probably enough. You want to hear? We actually did play-by-play of that as well.
By the way, your girls are gone. You can't do giving Jake anymore.
We are at the 2-minute warning. We have 2nd and short. Cowboys ball at the 40, the Green Bay 40. We got a little play action. We got an interception. We got a pick 6
Holy
at the 40,
No,
30,
I
30,
can't,
the
dude, I
10,
can't.
5. He walks the
So
dog.
they actually are going to lose.
And he is into the end zone, and
That's the stupid face.
You see me
That's
and
the
a bear to
stupid
fight
face.
for honey on
Oh
me,
my
so.
God.
I think perhaps Jake's headset was on the floor at that point.
I needed a moment because I knew you were going to play that. Your stupid honey drop. That was awful, dude. That was just it was a terrible read in the situation. It's just he just had an all-time career low night at a really bad time.
Intercepted by the guy that got suspended. Was that the guy? That one? Oh no, he
that's a
he didn't do the
different
pick 6.
The other pick.
Jair Alexander.
For the coin toss.
He's the guy that went out for Carolina for the coin toss.
Yeah.
Got suspended for the next game, and they still end up.
I mean, he's arguably the best corner in the game.
They still end up barely making the playoffs. Cowboys very happy because now we get a home game against the 7 seed instead of a road game against the, who knows what Baker can do. Watch tonight. Number 1, because I have this game in my little betting pool.
Okay.
And number 2, just because you will see what your life could have been. The Bucs will get rolled.
Well, they might.
Baker's going to, because Baker's in the part of the Baker cycle to have a terrible game, I believe.
He is, yes. As much as I appreciate the offer from Scott Chandler and Bills Mafia, and I may take them up on that, although I have caught a pass from Patrick Mahomes before, so my loyalty tends to ride with the Chiefs. The only thing I care about right now is the Eagles not advancing. That's it. That's the only thing that is giving me life. Philadelphia cannot get hot.
Yeah, if it's them and San Fran in the conference championship.
I'll drive my car off a bridge.
I had to look. I had some season-long things
Stop
going.
laughing, Blake.
I'm picturing Nick Sirianni, and yeah, that would make you very angry.
I can't do it.
I lost my Brock Purdy for MVP.
I do know that, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also sprinkled a little on Kevin Stefanski to win Coach of the Year. Still have a chance.
Yeah. That's not crazy.
And the longest odds, this was probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. I did all these on the same day. Brock Purdy. The longest odds at that point for any what seemed to be playoff teams, it was the Lions at plus 1425 to win the Super Bowl. So I got in on that.
Dang.
So we'll see.
And that's a fun one to root for. You don't have to feel dirty about that, right?
Man, I feel so... I don't know if we'll really do any other NFL today. Maybe we should save that for tomorrow because we're going to have 2 more games, right? To mess with?
Yeah, that was a weird deal. Did you like the bit of...
but I want to talk to Dan Campbell.
Scatter shooting here a little bit, but I think it was probably a joke. So I don't want to, put too much into this potential trolling. But when they moved the Bills game and somebody was like, I can't believe they moved Bills Steelers. They didn't move D-Day for weather. Them boys got out there and fought. And the community notes is they did.
They actually postponed it one day for weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that person might have been doing a very high-level joke. It's very possible.
I was feeling bad for the governor of New York and the NFL in general. And I suppose I'm now like the Cowboys, looking online and seeing criticism, and I should instead just not pay attention to the comments. But I was, and that's kind of a no-win. It's kind of like, when the pandemic started and we're saying mask up and wash your counters and close your schools. Well, now you might be able to say, hey, those were bad ideas. We shouldn't have done it to that degree. But when you're erring on the side of caution and you're just trying to, what if 1 out of every 5 people are dying from this?
Yeah.
We just don't know yet. Once we figure that out, we can see, oh my gosh, we didn't need to close the school or whatever. But at the time, you have to take everybody's safety into account. So same thing with this New York thing. If indeed there is big snow, and I think there was, so nobody's running to compliment them on that. But if indeed there was no weather, there would have been lots of screaming about all the inconvenience that you made people change their plans and this and that, and just this is big government, and it's you can't win there.
No.
It's the evacuating for a hurricane type thing. Same exact thing. You kind of have to do it, but then, and I suppose it's the same way I feel when I write the homeowner's insurance check. Really? We never use it, and then anytime I can, and I'm not going to pay it now, and then that's when lightning would strike.
Very weird though that when we get done here today, we have an NFL playoff game on a Monday. I mean, I guess it helps that it's a holiday, right? A lot of people are at home or off anyways. I mean, the Mavs are playing right now.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I thought the NBA didn't play on MLK Day.
No, they play the whole day.
Okay, they don't play on
Election Day.
Election Day.
Yeah. Get out the vote.
Is that working?
I think it's working great.
All right, well, let's try and figure out our technical sitch. We will play you some Jerry audio, and we'll do some stuff, but we'll have what we like to call a break.
The Dumb Zone.
Daddy, how long has it been since the Cowboys won the Super Bowl?
For the longest time. For the longest. There's no Dallas Cowboy fans in sight. Are y'all still them boys after tonight? Green Bay destroyed you. No championship for you. That hasn't happened for the longest your last. Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, trash. Lost in the wild card. Green Bay just stood on your star. You haven't won it for the longest time. Maybe this won't last very long. You said you'd win this year, but you were wrong. Dak Prescott let down CeeDee Lamb. He's the interception man, and that's all that he's known for.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone. The Dumb Zone. The Dumb Zone. The Dumb Zone.
You see me and a bear in a fight, pour honey on me, so.
So the break was a song, and then we play a song out of the song.
That's right.
Is that all right?
It is all right.
Do you like that, Blake? Or do you like this?
No puppet.
Yeah, waiting on it.
See, now that's inebriated Jake positive, feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
Like screaming no puppet, at the screen. But last night
It was also about 4 times as many drinks.
Somehow alcohol, though, can pick you up and it can put you down. Just when combined with victory, it can bring you up higher. But
sure.
When combined with whatever you saw yesterday.
Yeah, Eagles stream, Jake, was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah. So you want to play some Jerry stuff?
Yeah, I think you need to hear a little bit of this.
Do we need me to have a backup in case something goes awry, or no?
It's in there.
Okay.
I'll just start letting it play, and if you want to stop and start, we can.
I don't have any comments or questions or answers for how and why we didn't do what we wanted tonight. I say this to our fans, how much you deserve us to not have this ending. I certainly in no way have spent any of my time over the last 3 hours asking how and why. What I'm zeroed in on is the fact that I thought we were in a position, everybody in this room thought we were in a position to advance this thing in the playoffs and maybe get as far as our dreams might take us. We didn't do it. I don't have any thoughts about the reasons why or anything to do with the coaching, anything to do about the players. I want to give Green Bay a lot of compliments and credit. This is one of my most surprises since I've been involved in sport, period.
Syntax?
It's one of my most surprises.
Yeah, he's trying to cut everybody off at the pass, too.
Exactly.
And not talking about McCarthy or anything. I'm not even thinking about the coaches. Yeah, or players, yeah.
Yeah, and
I wonder if that worked.
I'm not old enough, and you're not from here. But I honestly have to believe that this is the most disappointing loss in franchise history.
I remember the Cardinals playoff game in the mid-'90s. Wasn't that pretty bad?
It was bad, but that was a team at the tail end of their contention. Right? The
Jake Plummer game.
Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But this is a team that is seemingly in their prime.
Right. Were expectations, they were probably high, but like you said.
And also, I don't recall the score of that game, and yesterday's score belies what actually occurred for 60 minutes. They got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And they got destroyed at home by the youngest team in the NFL based on age per snap count.
And it's the first time a 7 seed has won a playoff game.
Yeah, well,
now, granted,
New Horizons, they didn't used to have them.
No, but still.
Yeah, no, you're right.
What, it's been 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
Since 2020, but this game is not made for the 7 seed to win.
Right. In fact, most of the time we're saying there's.
Why is that team in the playoffs?
It's been a failed experiment, I thought.
Yeah.
Why would you
Expansion?
put? Yeah, expanding the playoffs. I like two buys. It worked. It worked great, and now every year there's these teams in there that you're like, this team should not have been in the playoffs. And you might have thought it was Green Bay until they beat the Cowboys. Well, maybe now you think it's the Cowboys.
But seriously, when he says, like, I've never been this disappointed, I believe him because I don't know that I can come up with another loss where the expectations were higher and the result was poorer.
See, because I've been through, and you have too, a few of these. So when you're the number 1 seed,
yeah,
and you get a bye in that first week, and then you have to play a wild card team that has not had any rest. You've had the rest, so you didn't have that. So twice the Cowboys have had that and lost to a division rival, the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty high expectations when you're the number 1 seed.
The games were just so much closer.
Okay, then that's
they were
a good
down
point.
27.
That's a good point.
In the first half yesterday.
Yeah, those were games.
Yeah, there's like a play you remember from each of those games. You're
Yes.
like, man, lost it in the lights, or this or that happened. I mean, they look like the worst team in the league yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Micah was not
really a factor.
2 tackles.
Was that Micah's
couple pressures?
I listened to a little Musers this morning. I thought I heard Junior say it was like his worst statistical game. Like it was his worst game of his career. Like one pressure, something real.
The Buffalo game was really bad. But yeah, it was not good. It was one of the worst for sure. And it's easily one of the worst games of Dak's career. So
well, and we always see those in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
All right, let me skip ahead a little bit here.
I haven't thought about that.
McCarthy.
Again, I'm not. I haven't thought about it at all.
Is that Dak?
Every step of the way today, I was looking for the end of the game with us being able.
We're
to
not
go
asking you to
forward
think
and
about
have
it.
another
We're asking
game
you to
here
talk.
next week. Everything I looked at today, the plays themselves were almost a blur to me. I was just thinking, how do we get to where we can have another game here next week?
That kind of, if you need fuel for your fire.
What, as far as his profit margin?
Well, no, just the idea of, like, I'm not even thinking about, like, the guy who is actually the general manager of the team is like, I'm not even really thinking about this game. I'm just thinking about the next game.
Ah, okay.
Like, how do we get to that?
And so I haven't given it that type of analysis or look-see or what have you.
Look-see.
This one's burned into our soul out here tonight, and Green Bay got a great win.
Jerry, is there any way you can connect?
They were absolutely looking ahead. They were looking ahead.
I mean,
there's no other way around it.
He's flat out saying it.
They were all looking ahead. They were I don't know if they were thinking ahead to San Francisco already, but you know that once they got that 2 seed, they did say they breathed a sigh of relief that they don't have to face San Francisco right away.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of a foregone conclusion. They might, Dak's talking about Louis Vuitton bags and Las Vegas and Super Bowl.
But it's not just him. They're asking Tony Pollard about the Super Bowl. They're asking CeeDee Lamb about the Super Bowl.
Right.
And that was the theme all week is how much more confident are you guys this year in making a Super Bowl run compared to last year?
And you're going to be asked about it.
Well, the thing is, though, what you think about it.
Yeah, and what you say.
What you say,
yeah.
And then what say might be what you think.
Yeah, they ask him because they know they're going to get an answer revolved around the Super Bowl. Not one player said, hey, we're just focused on this week. Not one.
Nope.
Jerry, are you concerned at all that your comments last week in Washington may have been a distraction for Mike McCarthy?
What was that?
That's when they asked him last week about what is McCarthy's job status. And he said a bunch of flowery things and then ended it with, we're going to see how each game goes.
Jerry, are you concerned at all that your comments last week in Washington may have been a distraction for Mike McCarthy?
That what?
that your comments last week in Washington may have been a distraction from Mike McCarthy?
No. No, not at all.
For people who, and the fans specifically, who might want to have questions about the head coaching direction, whether it's Mike McCarthy or moving forward, do you find it's important to give yourself time, or do you think that you'll be making a decision sooner rather than later?
When I think about it, which I haven't thought 1 second about it, I know how hard, how much it meant to our fans to advance. What this loss to me means, again, I opened up by saying not how, why, who didn't do what, all of that kind of thing. The only thing that was on my mind almost this entire game was not an analysis of our strategy, not an analysis of the play. It was, do we get to play here again next week? And we can't.
Well, you're the GM. So it might behoove you to, while you're watching the team play, not just be thinking, are we going to play next week, but rather be thinking, can I evaluate what I'm watching here?
Dude, the payday for another playoff game.
From a roster standpoint, and I mean, it's just words. It's Jerry. I get it. It's all a bunch of BS, but it's like, I actually believe him when he says, I wasn't even thinking about anything other than, are we playing next week? It's like, you're the guy who built the team.
Well,
you don't want to think about oh, maybe we're a team that's only built to play with a lead, and if somebody punches us in the mouth on the ground, maybe we should be talking about what we do with the 3 and the 1 tech. Maybe we should be beefing up linebacker a little bit more. Maybe going with smaller linebackers as safeties. Maybe that's not a great idea. Maybe we should do this or that when it comes to the run game. And he's just like, I don't know. I don't think about any of that. I'm just like, are we playing next week?
Again, I guess that's the trickle-down mentality of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I'll play you the last minute or so. I'll pick it up at the end here.
Okay. My complete thought for the last several weeks have totally been about anticipating and planning on advancing from this game.
This is
to
5
another
minutes
game
later,
here
by
at
the way.
Stadium, since we found out that we were going to have this home field. And so I'm.
That goes with just what we've been saying.
Yeah.
That's what all they've been
Like I
thinking
said,
about is how far they're going to advance now that we have home field.
Yeah.
This is great. It's already written that we don't lose at home.
Yeah, I mean, it was 16 straight. That again, this is 5 minutes later.
I'm going back to the complete bottom of my thought process to think about anything other than next week's game here.
After seeing this result, do you still feel like this team's close?
Again, I haven't thought about anything. And the main thing is I sure thought it was close coming in.
Jerry, what will be your process the next few days in analyzing what you need to do?
I don't. Every day I've got a lot of things that you do, and so I'm not for sure I know process from just what you do every day in terms of how that works. But we certainly have a background in what happens after you lose a playoff game. We got too much experience with that.
I thought that was interesting. I got a lot of experience when it comes to losing playoff games. It's like I've been doing it for a while now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So here we are. We'll do this whole dance again. They'll pick in the late 20s, and we'll rinse and repeat. I guess.
Do they get a quarterback?
I mean,
we've seen this
he's
year.
Still under contract.
Okay, but you pick a DT in the 20s that you thought will help shore up your run game, and he didn't do anything.
Boy, as much as I love their scouting department, and who knows who makes these decisions, and maybe these guys turn out to be great, that draft gave you nothing.
I thought the perfect end to that game was Schoonmaker not getting out of bounds with 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
Your second-round pick.
Like, he gave them nothing. Mozzie gave them nothing. Overshone was hurt in camp. Their third-round pick. It's like...
You didn't suit up Deuce.
They essentially just...
Yeah, Deuce was...
punted.
An incredible bust.
Well, I mean, you're picking... what, it's 7th round?
Still, that can't be your mindset. I mean,
No, I'm not saying that you should just.
They've
like,
had
think,
contributors in the late rounds.
I'm
for
not
sure.
saying you should just look at it and be like, oh, that's a throwaway pick. But I feel like in the same way that we make fun of it because it felt like it was a Tottenham pick, where it was like done for publicity. I feel like that also put a spotlight on him that other 7th round picks, you would never even like think about them. But if you just look at the top 3, I mean, they got nothing from their draft this year. Nothing. Which is very hard to do whenever you're ostensibly going to have the highest paid quarterback, wide receiver, pass rusher, and cornerback in the NFL. That's tough.
Yeah, it's also tough.
Deron Bland is about to be not cheap either, by the way.
Oh, for sure.
Sorry.
I mean, they've had such great success
with drafting, yeah.
With drafting recently, you want to give them a year? You're going to have your bust times.
And those guys may still develop, but seemingly there were more like ready to contribute guys right now in the draft than what they took. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could wrap it up the same way we started. Of the range of outcomes, this is literally the most unexpected and worst thing that could have possibly happened. Dak played horribly. McCarthy got outcoached, and they got thumped at home by a young team.
And it's also the only thing that we said could have gotten McCarthy run.
Yeah.
The exact template.
Yeah. And we would laugh about it.
Yeah, because it was the one thing that really wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Not a total embarrassment. I mean, not the way, when you've been through it, you somehow can combat against it. That's the theory. It's all theory. All right. Well.
Done for 6 months.
I guess we have a long... That's the thing. And then next year, I get so juiced up for football season, and you won't believe a thing next year, I think.
Well, you know what? I actually, before I wrote my column this morning, I went back and read my column from last year. And it's, I wish on one hand, I wish that I could have just copy and pasted it. But this is worse. This is way worse.
That's why they have to make a coaching change. How do you sell to the fan base next year when you're 10-1?
Or how about to the team?
To the team or the fan base or whatever. You're 10-1 and things are humming. How do you sell that it's different now?
You can't.
That's why you just have the coach generally ends up being the fall guy in these situations. And Kellen Moore probably didn't deserve to go last year, but he was in the spot. And so you had to get rid of Kellen Moore. That's just, you have to, every year you kind of do a little something.
Yeah.
You have to try a little something different just to say, oh no, here's what's different. So all year long it was, but now McCarthy's calling the play. And again, I listened to Dak's press conference from last week for comedy this morning. As he's, me and Mike, we're on we meet every Thursday. We meet Thursday, and we usually meet for 2-3 hours, maybe a half hour of football talk. But it's just about life. It's about being a father. It's about I call BS on a lot of it, just because even when you and I talk and sit around, much of it is about work.
Yeah.
Most of it is about work, even though we are friends and interested in each other. But, if we got 3 hours.
When it's not, you don't tell everyone and then call it Keep It Real Thursday.
Yeah, no, but it's just the whole, and then the footwork and the thing, and we're all on the same page, and it's just it's enormously better than last year. And now, he's calling plays. Yeah, man, he just has a feel for it. It's incredible because he's done it. He's a maestro. He knows, as different things happen, and he's got he's the head coach doing it, so he's got the big picture in mind. He's not just trying to go for. Remember, I think McCarthy's thrown Kellen Moore under the bus a little bit this year. In
sure.
Hey, sometimes you got to manage the whole game. You don't just.
He just wants to light up the scoreboard.
Yeah, and you can't. You're probably in a corner with the quarterback and his contract and just the quarterback position itself. You probably can't do anything there.
Yeah.
Short of, yes, let's actually look to draft his replacement before he's already too old. They got lucky with it with Romo and
and I mean, dude, that's just such a tough road to hoe because, I mean, obviously Lamar is an outlier. Dak is the supreme outlier. But for the most part, if you want your quarterback, you're giving up capital. And now you're in the situation of, all right, so what would actually make my team better right now? Using this capital to improve the roster that he's on or bundling it together to move up to go get,
one of the top guys.
10 quarterback. Because it's just very unlikely that you're going to find a franchise quarterback in the bottom half of the first round. Not impossible, but unlikely. I mean, Jordan Love was the end of the first round. However, they did trade up to go get him. And if you recall, because I remember us playing this audio, Aaron Rodgers was not thrilled about that.
Nope.
Didn't he pour himself a scotch?
Tequila or
a couple
something.
fingers.
Yeah. And that was because they hadn't drafted a wide receiver in like 100 years in the first round.
Yeah, and I would have been bothered by that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially the way, your even real smart organizations are drafting Trey Lance at the top of the draft or Trubisky or whoever. You can miss so big.
You're likely to miss.
But in doing my research last night, it just seems like they've been a team in the last 20 years that has not put any draft capital into their quarterback position.
They haven't had to.
And they're playing like. Well, I know, but maybe it's time to fix it because this isn't working. Relying on an undrafted quarterback and a fourth-round quarterback to win playoff games has not meant success for you.
But the 8th best record in the NFL over the last 20 years also.
That's cool. Is that what you want? Did you have the better quarterback on the field last night? One of them was a fourth-round quarterback. One of them was a first.
I wonder, in truth, you're a businessman. If you're Jerry, what do you really want?
I thought you meant me. I was like, thank you.
But you are, certainly. You're a small businessman. He's a big businessman.
Sure.
And what do you really want? In the mix, 8-8/12-5, but bubble, never great. Never good enough even for the NFC Championship game, but always relevant, always still talked about, always in the mix. We draft the flashy name player usually more often than not. I know they had to hold him back to not draft Manziel, but otherwise, where CD falls, we're going to get him. We're going to get Dez. We're going to get names. We're going to have fantasy football highlights for sure. In your fantasy drafts, people are always picking Cowboys because they'll light it up. Profitable franchise, or would you rather have a stretch where you have to just be really bad for a while? Really bad. So you can get that number 1 overall pick. Or like a top 5 pick so that you could actually move up, trade some of your future capital, all that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've written this every year, and it's armchair psychologist, because I actually do believe that Jerry wants to win. But they have kind of kept themselves in the we're always going to be relevant, you're always going to be talking about us, we're not going back to 5-11 cycle.
Which is not easy to do. People are always trying to stay out of that cycle.
Yeah, but sometimes
nobody wants to get in it.
No. But
like the Eagles have gotten in it.
They have.
They've been good, terrible, worse than now they're better,
But to break through, sometimes you got to put it on the table a little bit. And that
what does that mean?
Well, I mean, if you look at the Eagles, for example, I mean, they've made some trades that have left them with a lack of draft capital. I mean, the Cowboys could have, at any point in time over the last 2 years, like started dealing away second round, third round. I mean, the Cooks and the Gilmore
They could have got
trade-
themselves A.J. Brown.
Exactly. The Cooks and the Gilmore trade are a step in the right direction, but those are relatively low cost.
And I know Wentz is not equitable to Dak, but they drafted a guy at 2 that worked their way to the Super Bowl with him and then decided he's not the guy anymore, and they moved on quickly.
Quickly.
Yeah. Whereas that's just because that is a tremendous risk.
And that's, the Cowboys would
never do that.
Had they decided to do that, they might have Lamar Jackson today.
Correct.
Because Lamar fell.
Yeah.
And Dak, you weren't sure about him at the time. And you could have let him walk.
They would have. There's no way they would ever do that.
Man.
But to shift that question from a business standpoint to a fan standpoint, is it more entertaining for the Cowboys to be the Cowboys, one of the better teams in the league, and not have any playoff success, or be like the Rangers, where you're not a factor 9 out of 10 years, but that you have your year? Is that
classic
1 year
Marlins debate? The Marlins Braves debate?
Marlins Braves of the old days, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the NFL is a little bit different, but
because there is a lot of juice going into every year where there's so much optimism, and it's like you got to watch every game.
Dude,
there is something to that.
I think our buddy Tim on Twitter pointed this out the other day. I'm pretty sure they got KB and Greg Olson every game they were on Fox. Like Fox is basically like we were.
They've never had the B team this year.
We were discussing why are they doing Commanders Cowboys at noon, and I think he looked it up, like went back and went through it and was like, Fox has just decided just put the Cowboys on. It doesn't matter who they're playing. It doesn't matter when they're playing. It doesn't matter what's at stake or not at stake. Just put the Cowboys on, and that works very well for the family.
Perfect way to end.
All right.
That's a good ender.
Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
Well, unfortunately, my news is Cowboy related because I always love this.
Fights in the crowd?
No, I didn't. Did you see any?
No.
I didn't see any. However, I did see this clip on Dallas, Texas TV and then went and pulled the longer version of it. And it's the fun bit where the news reporter has to go out to a game and interview fans. Always a classic.
Okay.
So we got Rebecca Lopez out here post-game last night, and there's some gold in here.
Cowboy fans left here in the cold after the team was iced out of the playoffs by the Packers, and this...
Get it?
Yes, they were iced out, yeah.
Okay, nice
Cowboy
job.
fans left here in the cold after the team was iced out of the playoffs by the Packers, and this was a team that many thought would actually make it to a Super Bowl, but they didn't even show up to play, so many fans say they're disgusted and want change.
I came from there and we lost. Y'all ain't nobody else, man.
Disgusted.
I am upset. You feel me? I am from Virginia. I flew all the way in today to watch this. I'm sad.
Frustrated.
We got another Romo on our hands. Choke like a...
Disappointed.
They cut it off right before she said motherfucker.
We got another Romo on our hands. Choke like a...
Disappointed.
We need another quarterback, another coach, everything. It don't matter to me. It don't matter.
That's how Cowboys fans felt after watching the team implode once again in the playoffs.
We need help. We need Jesus.
Many blame...
We need Jesus.
Jesus.
Many blaming the coaches.
Mike McCarthy losing at home against the Packers.
Says a lot.
I think legacy gone, man. Like, you won a Super Bowl with the Packers, and then you go take over a new team, and you lose at home against that team.
Without Aaron Rodgers.
Drunk wife.
Without Aaron Rodgers.
You know,
It's embarrassing.
Others, the quarterback.
No more Dak Prescott. ASAP, new quarterback.
Dak, get him out of here. Trey Lance, the next stud. Let's go.
Oh, all
We're
right.
calling for Trey Lance now.
The next stud. Let's go. Let's go, Rangers.
And many
Let's go Rangers.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Go Rangers!
And many fans demanding change.
12-5, 12-5, 12-5. Who cares when we lose like this to the freaking Packers who shouldn't even be here? It's disgusting. Let's get a real head coach, and if he can't do it for us, let's get a new quarterback. I'm tired.
Fans came from all over and dealt with the...
That's how it sounds every single time I yell at my family. I just say everything I have to say, and then I'm just like, I'm tired.
Let's get a real head coach, and if he can't do it for us, let's get a new quarterback. I'm tired.
Fans came from all over and dealt with the cold weather just to watch this mess.
We drove far for no reason.
Fans say they were fed up and freezing.
We're from Florida. We're freezing our off.
I still here since 10, just to freeze to lose. Not worth it.
There was enough blame to go around as the Cowboys suffered one of the most embarrassing losses in the team's playoff history, and now fans are left disappointed once again. At AT&T Stadium, I'm Rebecca Lopez. Back to you.
Ooh, fans are not holding back, and I don't blame them. Still ahead tonight, firefighters braving the cold to battle a fire on water.
Ooh, fans are not holding back.
They're deservedly so. Give Jared a piece of your mind.
Funny. I'm surprised I never ended up on one of those. One time, man, this is so bad. The first football game I think I ever went to with my wife, we might have been to a college game before, but the first Cowboy game I ever went to, it was Cowboys-Giants. And this was during the Victor Cruz era. What do you remember about Victor Cruz and his celebrations, Blake?
Salsa dancing.
Yeah. So the Cowboys won, and it was I think it was a good Giants team, and I honestly should have been murdered, because this is like in my real party days, and like I was salsaing in front of every Giants fan on the way out. I was like, salsa, salsa.
Just rubbing it in.
Yeah.
You're not a good winner, as you're saying.
I'm not a good winner or a good loser.
No.
But yeah, I was like,
so you're looking to get in a fight?
I was just looking to,
stir it up.
That's right. Stir it up, Blake. ERCOT, speaking of Blake, is asking us to conserve energy tomorrow morning.
So now is fine?
Fat chance.
Yeah.
The call in particular is for to curb your usage from 6 to 9. Nice. Tomorrow morning.
Okay. Interesting pinpointing that time frame.
Is that when everybody's getting ready for work or something?
That's what I would assume.
Getting ready to go to school?
Your blow dryers. Women.
Yeah.
Hair curlers. Do women still use curlers?
I don't think so.
Do you remember that? Like when you were a kid, like your mom having the full thing, and you would accidentally touch it, and it would just like scald you.
Yeah.
For months.
Curlers in the hair and on the car ride over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They must still use them.
I mean, I know like the curling iron.
Yeah.
Is still popular, but curlers themselves. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. You're
I
walking around. Grandma used to have those.
I just don't see those anymore. I mean, I guess I'm typically only around one woman.
Yeah, and if she doesn't use them.
Do you guys have stuff like that recalls like memories instantly, like smells? Like the smell of the curler to me and the hair, like it just puts me like right back in a very specific place.
Yeah, I think certain things. Certainly, to me, certain music does.
The
like
Wall?
No, there's some like 70s song that actually puts me like into the backseat of a car.
Yeah.
Like I must have remembered hearing this when I was a little kid or something.
Yeah, I got a couple of those.
Which is really weird.
Yeah, smell-wise for me, hey, Mom, I know you're listening to this. Can you tell my mom to stop listening?
Yeah, quit listening. Well, why would she listen?
Hairspray.
This is not for ladies.
Hairspray makes me think of church.
Okay.
Like, my wife doesn't really use hairspray all that often. In fact, I feel like hairspray's kind of had a down couple decades. It seemed like it used to be a lot more popular. Blake, what do you think?
Yeah, that puts me back at home.
Like, does your wife use hairspray?
Again, no, but I don't know if that's just her or not.
Yeah. But the occasional times where I smell hairspray, I'm like, ugh, youth group.
Yeah, there's some of that stuff that puts me right back in the 90s shows and music, and I don't know. For me, I guess it's more like food smells.
Yeah.
Something that only my extended family would cook or something.
Yeah, I know sometimes when I go to, I do think of one college girlfriend when I walk through the Papados kitchen.
Why are you in the kitchen?
I like to inspect the food prep sometimes. When they're gutting the fish.
You thought maybe you should give her a call?
Yeah, then I think of her.
Fire up Facebook.
Like, damn. Pull up her Facebook picture.
Why is this customer in the...
What could have been? Yeah, I got my laptop in there with me. I'm holding it. What's your Wi-Fi password?
Oh, my God. That is really weird. Really weird, dude. But, yes, we have actually had a couple of deaths and 3 injuries on Dallas County highways within just the last 24 hours. I suck at driving in this stuff, man.
Me too.
Like, I texted you guys this morning.
Oh, you grew up in Ohio. You should be great at it.
I was about to say that, so.
Yeah. You would think.
You would think.
I'm not. Terrible at it. I know. You got to know your strength. You don't just try and steal every base. You kind of got to judge your own speed.
Sure.
So, yeah.
You're more of a finesse driver. You're really good at just weaving in and out, going 100.
Right. I was born to live in Texas. Because if you go up there, too, my daughter was talking about this. When you drive in New York or something.
Slow.
Just the state of New York, even. Not just New York City when there's big traffic. The state of New York, it's, slow. She's like, if it says 55, people are driving 55. Maybe 60.
Suckers.
Right. They don't understand that we don't listen to big government here.
That's right. Yeah, both these, or all 3 of these deaths occurred overnight. And, for me,
post-cowboy.
Yeah, it doesn't say that there's nothing mentioned about, like, alcohol or anything in here, but certainly it could have been cowboy-related. But, yeah, like, for me, it's you're at a light, you hit the accelerator, and you just fishtail.
Mm-hmm.
That happened to me this morning, and I'm like, okay, am I just bad at this? Do I just hit it too hard?
You just shouldn't be out in it. There's
Probably not.
No real reason to, unless
you have a podcast.
You have a podcast, and you have 2 kids at home, and you need to get away from them.
Yeah, on a holiday, a snow day holiday. Either way.
I wonder if schools will be in session tomorrow. So my wife works
we've at least already been advised of a late start.
My wife works for a school system, and this morning the alarm goes off, like it usually does for her, at 6:30.
Grinder.
And then it went off again because of the snooze, and then it went off again. And I'm noting it as I'm lying there. Now I'm stirred, so I'm doing some words or something. And yeah, it was 7:35, and she's still in bed. And I said, "Hey, what's the deal?" She goes, "I forgot it's MLK Day."
Turn your alarm off.
She just forgot. Like the night before, she's prepping for it, and I guess she got up, and at 6:30, she texted a friend of hers who works for the school, or whenever one of those alarms, she texted her friend.
Didn't it let the freezing temperature?
Oh. We got more audio for the news? Anyway. She woke somebody up that she works with to find out if school was closed. because she thought
bad coworker.
She thought the weather might be.
Sorry, bad coworker.
Yeah.
No, right now on NBC DFW's website, they have their trending thing up there at the top, little trending bar. We've got the Good News newsletter. We've got Arctic Blast latest.
That's what we're in now?
Yeah, Arctic Blast. You're in the middle of a blast. Did you not feel it?
No.
We've got Navy SEALs missing.
Oh, no.
And Sitting by Taylor. Apparently
What's that
they
mean?
Simply caught up with someone who's sat near Taylor Swift at a football game.
Oh, okay. I like the Taylor Swift memes. Her looking through the
glass.
Yeah, the foggy window. That was my second favorite meme to the Jake.
There were a lot of
football memes.
Jake football memes.
News, like, and subscribe.
I gave you my own.
No, you did. You brought it. We can end with this.
The Dumb Zone presents Today in History.
So if you're listening to this not on, Monday the 15th, maybe you just don't even want to listen to this part and you just can bail out.
Do whatever you want.
That's right. You're the boss of you.
By the way, the Seahawks have put in a request to interview Dan Quinn.
Take him.
Take him. Okay, we're just done with Dan Quinn now. After leading the league in turnovers over a 3-year period and pressure rate, we're just done with Dan Quinn now.
Did you hear Micah last week? Said something about DQ's my guy. Who knows? Maybe he'll take me with him.
That's not exactly what he said, but it was something jocular. He said it in a comedic vein.
So it's Monday, January 15th. It is Martin Luther King Jr., the King Day.
Mm-hmm.
On this day in 1892, the original rules of basketball were published for the first time in Springfield, Mass. This game devised by Dr. James Naismith. The first ever rules today. Number 1, white guys only. On this day in 1978, it was the first ever Super Bowl indoors.
What if we had to explain to Mr. Naismith that there's going to be this guy, James Harden, he's going to do this like rip-through move, and KD's going to take it on. You're going to have to make a rule for that.
It feels like cheating, I know, but they found a little loophole.
And then people are going to start hacking this guy named Shaq, and it's just going to make a mockery of the game.
Could you go back and teach someone of that era, of his era, the Euro step?
No, I don't think that you could. Where was it? Atlanta? New Orleans.
New Orleans. Atlanta? How would the first ever Super Bowl be in Atlanta? Did they have a dome back in the 70s?
I thought they did. Did they not? Where do they used to play?
I feel like Jake just had a really bad point. But
I immediately followed it up with New Orleans.
I'm also afraid to really go at you hard because I don't know.
Why was that so bad?
I just feel like Atlanta, I mean, growing up I heard of the Astrodome. Then
the
I
Georgia
heard of,
Dome?
Okay, was that there in the 70s?
I don't know.
I just thought there was like 2 domes. I thought there was one dome, the Astrodome, and then New Orleans got one.
Yeah, no, you're right. 92. I just remember when I was growing up, I remember thinking the Falcons are a dome team. Sue me. Please don't.
Is that the house that Dion built?
Yeah, probably so, Dan.
Roger Staubach.
What do you want?
Was
Next
the
head coach of the
quarterback
Falcons? Dion?
against former Cowboy backup Craig Morton. So those two used to actually, I think there was even one game or one stretch where Tom Landry would send in the play with the quarterback.
Absolutely.
So Craig Morton would run in, do a play. Roger Staubach runs out. He gets the next play.
Definitely.
Can you imagine if that would have actually worked and that was a thing now?
No.
Oh.
I can't, but
I want you to.
I know Steve Spurrier did it with Florida.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And for those of us who grew up playing youth football, very common. Like I did that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I know, I believe Paul Brown would have an offensive lineman do it.
Yeah, the most common thing is to have a receiver do it, which I also did.
That makes sense.
Which was really the only thing I did. It was basically a pigeon.
Did you ever change the play to one that you got the ball?
No.
Ooh.
Of course not.
So you're smart, but not that smart.
I'm a team player. No, team player.
You're no Jair Alexander.
That's right.
On this day in the year 2000, the Jags defeat the Dolphins 62-7. Jimmy's last coaching appearance. The second largest margin in playoff history. I don't know the first. So if you guys want to search that, that'd be a lot of fun.
Bills
so wait.
51-3 over the Raiders in 1991. In an AFC championship game. Wow.
51-3. So this one got the Jags to the AFC
The Bills
championship.
must have been really good that year. Maybe they'll win the Super Bowl.
Nope. The first of many losses, Blake.
So the Jags have been to the AFC championship more recently than the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They were in it in 2017?
Blake Bortles.
So they've been there twice since the Cowboys have been there.
Yes.
And, on this day in 2009, U.S. Airways captain Chelsea Sullenberger put his Airbus 320 down in the Hudson River after a flock of birds disabled both engines. All 155 people aboard survived. Sully.
So you landed a plane because a bird flew into it. And you're a hero now?
And from what I understand from speaking to other pilots, we live in a pilot-laden area.
We do. That's why we have so many 9/11 memorials.
Yeah. Ooh, I got another one I'll show you tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's only about 80,000 other pilots that could have pulled that off.
Thank you. He wasn't being attacked by a missile.
Like every pilot that flies for American that I've ever met have said, yes, I would
just land the...
I would have also not killed anyone.
Yeah, pretty simple.
And, you know,
there's a huge body of water here. Oh, we hit a bird?
Yeah.
I'll just land it. It's not a big deal. You could still get drink service while I'm doing it.
And on this day in 2020, Chinese officials said they couldn't rule out the possibility that a new coronavirus in central China could spread between humans, but they said the risk of transmission appeared to be low.
Well, good. Good.
They don't lie.
They couldn't rule it out, but they're not, like, confirming it.
Today's birthdays, we have... I didn't really roll through email, so I might have gotten some emailed birthdays.
Oh, no.
We'll have to get those tomorrow. I'm sorry. Pretty busy with football this morning. Because we don't watch a lot of the broadcast, you know.
Kind of got to go back.
I kind of went back and... Anyway.
Did it get better the second time?
Well, I knew exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Former Cowboy Randy White, 71.
Has oddly taken on a Texan accent.
He's been here a long time, though.
Yeah, but I mean, so have you.
Yeah, he's the manster. He could do whatever he wants. Could he beat you up? He's 71.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Former Ranger Mitch Garver, 33.
Male prostitute.
Former Ranger Armando Galarraga is 42.
Wow.
Do you know the moment in history he's famous for?
I guess not.
Blake? Baseball guy? He had a perfect game with 2 outs in the 9th inning. He was pitching for the Tigers and got a ground ball that pulled Miggy off the bag. Throws to Galarraga covering. Out. Called safe. Before
Jim
replay.
Joyce.
Oh, this is the Jim Joyce, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I struggle remembering that guy's name.
Okay.
Very blatantly safe.
Yeah. Okay,
Like,
once Blake said Jim Joyce, I
by
knew.
a step safe, not like bang bang.
Yeah.
It was not even close at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, I watched it again this morning. Just to,
And that was
unbelievable.
like the only good thing that guy did in his career. Like, he's not a good pitcher.
No, he's terrible. Former Ranger manager Jeff Bannister is 60.
Jake.
Future father-in-law.
Debo Samuel, 28.
Stud.
Drew Brees, 45.
Has to throw left-handed now.
Golfer Gary Nicholas is 45. He actually won one tournament on tour.
Huh.
Actor Andrea Martin is 77. She is the mom in Life Goes On.
Never seen it.
Actor Chad Lowe, 56. He was Jesse in Life Goes On. The kid who dated Becca, but he had AIDS.
What?
It was in the era, the 90s.
Yeah, so divorced parents.
Was the era when you had to tell everybody that AIDS is cool. It's okay. You could date someone that has AIDS. You could hang out with someone that has AIDS.
You could even use the same toilet.
Right.
Just don't let him put it in your butt.
Yeah. Musician Adam Jones is 59.
Pac-Man.
He's from Tool.
Ugh.
And you know Bush would open for Tool on their tour.
Not a fan. Their music always sounded like a math problem to me.
Hole opens for Korn.
Okay, sorry.
And
I cut you
Pitbull
off
is
before you-
43.
Mr. Worldwide. I think he's like obscenely wealthy.
You think? Isn't that the dumbest thing you've ever said? Of course he is.
Well, no, I mean, like, I think he's...
I bet Dak's girlfriend is hot.
No. I don't mean like he's rich. I'm just saying, like, I thought he was one of these guys, like, have you ever looked up, like, 50 Cent's net worth?
No.
Like, he got into, like, vitamin water or something?
So it's like $1 billion?
It's something way more than you would expect. Yeah.
How did we get into something like that?
Pitbull's only $100 million. I would have expected more.
Born, now dead, Martin Luther King. This is his birthday. And Ray Chapman. Ray Chapman is the only Major League Baseball fatality.
Oh.
He was a Cleveland Indian and was killed on the field of play. Died on this day.
What happened? Heart attack?
No,
pegged
bean.
in the head.
Beanball.
Oh, jeez. He was at bat?
Yeah, I believe so.
How else would he have been hit by a beanball?
Oh, I guess I didn't process that part. I didn't know if he was like pitching and got a comebacker off the head or something.
I think he was at bat.
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
like it. Yeah.
Dang.
So that happened in 1920.
Dude, listen to this. So, it was a pitch thrown by Carl Mays. The sound of the ball striking Chapman's skull was so loud that Mays thought it had hit the end of Chapman's bat. He fielded the ball and threw it to first base.
Wow. Certainly weren't wearing helmets back then.
No. That's
Wonder if
insane.
This helped cause
It's like
them to
Mahomes'
start wearing
helmet.
helmets. Yeah. He's got a really high helmet.
It's because of his hair.
Is that why?
I think so.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it just like sits a little bit higher. Why would that not make any sense?
Why are
Like
you
they-
so combative today?
Me?
I feel like both of you are just short of patience today.
No, I'm.
You're just ready to snap at each other.
No.
This happens every MLK day. Because Jake's like, I don't know why. It's got to be a federal holiday, man. I mean, geez.
I'll work.
I'm like, he did a lot. He was important.
Yeah, what about all that sleeping around?
So Ray Chapman, the only Major League Baseball fatality. On this day in 1968, Bill Masterson died. The only NHL fatality. He died during a
Wow.
game.
What a note.
I guess probably with a puck, Blake. I don't know.
Well, I mean, with hockey, you're opening yourself up to a couple of other opportunities.
Could have been a skate to the neck, but
Yeah.
I think look him up real quick. I think it was. I think he did not have puck luck.
His PDO.
But I don't know how Bill Masterson died. Was he a Dallas Star?
No. Died in 1968?
Well, he was a North Star.
Was he a North Star? Okay. I thought they might have had his number retired.
Okay.
Because that's one sure way to get your number retired.
I think he just got checked and landed on his head.
I retire the numbers of guys who stay alive.
Who don't get captured.
After they get hit.
Yeah, his head hit the ice. Oh, and his teammates said it sounded like a baseball bat hitting a ball.
Teammates said it sounded like Carl Mays pitching to Ray Chapman.
Yeah.
And died on this day in 2016, Dan Haggerty. Do you know why he's famous, Blake? Or Jake, I should ask.
I know the name.
So have you ever heard of a show called Grizzly Adams?
Yeah, okay.
I'm not that familiar. I'm just familiar that it exists.
Didn't he, marry Ty Walker or something?
He performed the wedding ceremony of Richard Hunter. And Ty Walker was there.
In attendance, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was Today in History.
Well, thanks, guys.
Tomorrow, keep just don't run your hairdryer in the morning.
That's right.
All right.
Adios, mofo.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. And you could have it all. My empire of dirt, I will let you down. I will make you hurt. I wear this crown of thorns upon my liar's chair, full of broken thoughts I cannot repair. Beneath the stains of time, the feelings disappear. You are someone else. I am still right here. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. And you could have it all. My empire of dirt, I will let you down.